Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lecture 8, which is the last online lecture we have for the semester. And it deals with this issue of the social construction of race. And so far, you've watched the commercial from Ancestry.com. And I have to admit that commercial annoys the heck out of me. I actually get angry when I watch it. And I get angry because it perpetuates a conception of race that I think is quite popular in American culture, but I also think is quite wrong. And it kind of posits this idea that there's some sort of genetic linkage between his ancestry and the activities that he performs. And so, it's only if he was German that he could wear Lederhosen and do that dancing. And as soon as he finds out that he's actually Scottish, then he needs automatically to go over and then start wearing a kilt and playing the bagpipe. His genes don't care whether he wears lederhosen or a kilt. That has nothing to do with anything related to genetics. But it posits that there is this kind of linkage there, which I think is quite wrong and inaccurate. And that is why I find that commercial to be so frustrating. And a way to put this is this commercial posits what I call this idea of race as biology, or we'll shorten it to RAB. And this is supposed groupings of people based on inheritable physical or biological characteristics like skin color, hair texture, and the like. So, physical attributes. And then some people that advocate this position are also going to say there's differences in cognitive, or cognitive differences are also behavioral differences that can be tied back to a person's race, and so ultimately to their genetic ancestry. And in thinking about the issue of race and this conception of race, I have this very weird experience where the more I think about the kind of prevalent conception of race as biology, on the one hand, the more, or the less amount I actually understand it, because it posits certain things that I don't think are inaccurate. And so the more I think about it, the more incorrect I actually think it is. But at the same time, the more that I think about it, the more I can see evidence of people using it and understanding the world in these terms. So I kind of understand it on two different levels, but they go in opposite directions. And we'll talk about, and we'll talk to both of these issues, both in how this idea is prevalent, but then what we want to start with is some of the problems that this RAB conception of race has. And the main thing is that RAB posits certain things. So it says it can account for certain things, but it actually can't do that. So it's a very bad idea. It's a conceptually flawed idea that can't account for the things that it says it should be able to account for. And so that's why I find this issue of race on one level to be more and more confusing over time because it doesn't live up to its own billing. All right, and what we can do now is look at some of the problems associated with this conception of race as biology. And one is that we're all part of the same common heritage. All right. Any human person, any human around the world, we share the vast majority of our DNA. We're operating on same, very similar genetic platforms, up to 99%. And I think it's actually over 99%. So this conception of race as biology overlooks how similar we are. Another way to put this is that we focus on the exceptions of similarity and not the rule of similarity, which is that we are all largely the same, and there are a few differences, but we focus on those. But again, we need to understand we're just focusing on the minuscule differences, and overlooking the common things that we share. Now, this is a true statement, but this statement can be problematic for certain people that have certain beliefs. And so what we'll do now is you're going to watch a couple clips from a movie, and we'll see how this can be problematic for people, for certain people.